Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for coming back to another podcast episode, We Go Podcast, aka What Else Is Going On podcast. So I told y'all that I've already told y'all on YouTube that I had a special guest that I was having on today. For those of you that are watching, you can see her. But if you're not watching, you're listening. Let me give you a little background on this beautiful woman that I have on my platform today. She is a recording artist, an entrepreneur. She is a thought leader for sure, a media personality, an author, and a professional speaker. And one of the beautiful things about her is when she speaks, she delivers a fresh message of hope and healing rooted in truth, wisdom, transparency, and authenticity. And I'm excited to have her on What Else Is Going On podcast. Winter Harris, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about the conversation. We've already gotten into it, so I'm like, let's go.
Yes, y'all, me and Winter have had a good old kiki, a good old real conversation before recording. And I said, let me hit record because it'll be 6:30 and we will not have recorded anything, but I will still have walked away feeling fulfilled from our conversation. So first, I want to ask you, how are you? How have you been? How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, actually. I feel like, once the season is done, it's like a huge woosah. So it's almost like you go into like a full school year and then there's summer break. And
Yes.
so I'm finally in my infinite summer break, and it feels really good to be on the journey of detaching myself from that. And
Yes.
so I actually feel really good. Kids are good.
Oh, good.
Life's good. I'm in a transition, and that's always its own journey, but
Okay.
have such peace knowing that I feel like I'm on the right track, and that's its own level of comfort. So I would definitely
Yeah.
say overall, I am good. I am
I
good.
I love that. So, yeah, for those of you, a lot of you watching and listening probably do know, but for those of you that don't, Winter was on Love and Marriage DC, produced by Carlos King. She had came on season 1 as Monique Samuel's friend. Winter is no longer with the show, and I thought, because I have watched, Winter has done interviews with some of my favorite people, Really Be, the old ladies first panel with Jamie, Niecy, and Bondi. I love those ladies so much. She's just done Queen Sheba. She's the reality rundown. And I thought, for those of you listening and watching, y'all know I am a consumer of content. So I just love content. But I thought it would be fun for Winter to come on and talk about a reality show from a reality star's perspective. Even though she's not now, she was, and that's an experience that will probably it won't necessarily fade. Maybe the feelings around it may fade, but the experience will never fade. So I thought that we could have a good old kiki. So those of y'all that have been with me for a while, y'all know how I go about getting my guests. I try to make a connect one way. So I plotted and I waited and I said, there's been so many times I wanted to reach out, and I said, she likes Summerhouse. So we would be tweeting, and then if I saw her comment, either I would comment on hers, she'd comment on mine. One time we got into a conversation, boom, come on over to the podcast and play with me, Winter, and talk. And she was like, DM me. Y'all, I'm going to stop saying that this day and age of social media and technology, I'm going to stop speaking over my 47-year-old life that has got me. But I tried to DM her on Twitter. It was like I had a brain fart, couldn't figure it out. Went to send her a DM on Instagram, and y'all know that if you've never DM with the person, you better get it right the first time, because you cannot send another one until they respond. Y'all typed out half the message. I said, I'm done. So I just tweeted her and said, I sent you a message. It's halfway done. And girl, that's okay. Sure, I'll come on. So we made it work. So I am so glad that you are here. So as I did mention, really quick, Winter walked away from reality TV, and that's not something that we see a lot of, like in the housewives world. Normally when someone puts out their statement, I've decided to go on to other journeys, a lot of times it's because their contract has not been renewed, and even in other reality TV shows. But
Yeah.
how do you feel? Do you feel indifferent? Do you feel something? Do you feel nothing with just having the freedom to just walk away and say, hey, thank you for the opportunity. I'm done?
I think there's I would have used the word freedom, but it is a liberating feeling to not be a prisoner to things that no longer serve you
Mm,
or align with the vision that you have for your personal or professional life.
okay.
And I would just say it's liberating. There's a sense of liberation I feel that I'm not depending on this for a check. I never have. That's
Mm,
never been the reason. And I explained that on another interview. Like
yes.
I looked at it as a marketing tool after quote unquote two, 3 seasons, technically three, but we filmed season 2 over 6 months, 2 and 3
Mhm,
over 6 months. But when you kind of see the pros versus the cons, my pros don't outweigh my cons,
mhm,
unfortunately. When you talk about the level of pay and then the lack of return on
mhm.
really the investment that you put in for being on reality TV and the, oh gosh, like the invasion of privacy
Yeah.
that you are expected to give up. Like
Yeah.
you give up a level of privacy to be a quote unquote public figure and allow people access into your lives that they would not normally have.
Yeah.
That in and of itself, depending on how you're edited, can be its own burden
Hmm.
there that you didn't necessarily sign up for or count the cost of. And
Mm.
people can say, oh, it's entertainment, it's entertainment, it's entertainment. Well, tell that to the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, who seem to have an arrest every other day.
Come on now. You better say. Yeah.
And now, because they're public, you have numerous platforms going live to discuss those arrests because they were introduced to you on the show, and they now believe they have the right to
Mm.
dissect or pry into your personal life. I'm good on it.
That okay. And what I've noticed about reality TV, and you can speak to how you said they get an intimate look into your life and they feel like it's
They
their
do.
right because it's
Yes,
different than an actor or an actress. They're
absolutely.
portraying a part, but if this is supposed to be your reality. So, do you think, for me, I've always said there's a difference in being transparent and being vulnerable. For me, transparent is I can share my story, some of the things that I've been through in hopes that it would help others. Vulnerability is this is what I'm going through. I'm asking someone I trust, can you just hold it a minute for me, these feelings? But if they drop it, I'm shattered. So I feel like, did you ever feel with reality TV? I'm okay with being transparent, but I'm not going to give you my vulnerability.
So for me, I came in rather embracing the concept of both
Okay.
vulnerability and transparency.
Okay.
What I don't appreciate about reality TV, and I want to be very intentional about what brand I'm referring to, because there's so many reality TV shows.
Yes. Yeah.
So one of the things, let's take The Circle, for instance. We are not digging into their personal lives.
Mhm.
We do not know anything about their personal lives. We only know what they have chosen to disclose and what is relevant to the game.
Right.
Unlike the reality TV, platform that I come from, where we expose our lives as is supposedly real time. It may not always be depending on when it's aired, but you are getting our lives as they happen. Then as your life is filmed, that footage is now allowed to be edited to create a
Yes.
narrative that you have no control over.
Yes.
So I can live with being transparent and vulnerable. The issue I have is not being able to control how you display what you have captured.
Got you. Okay. So, for instance, using something you say, Ashley may have said, today is a beautiful day. Well, I think it's kind of dark and gloomy, but then that scene is actually used for, I seen Joy today. What do you make of her personality? Oh, I think it's actually dark. Them taking your voice and kind of Frankenstein it into another scene.
Absolutely. And now
Yes.
I have a world of people mad at me who thinks I'm hating on someone that I never even spoke on.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a level of dark magic in media I don't want parts of.
Yes, because it could, I know that we're creating entertainment or a show, but it has gotten to levels where viewers are doxing people they watch, threatening people that they watch, knowing their addresses. So now you're creating this about this person that we're watching, which could actually bring them harm. And you've said it before, and I've heard other people say before. It's not blaming editing, but if editing has taken me saying something and put it in a totally different scene, because people say, well, they can't take what you don't give them. Absolutely. I gave them that in a different context, in a different scene. And
Right.
we know using the and the can shift a sentence. So imagine taking my whole phrase and putting it into a different scene. So when people say you sign up for this, it's one thing to say that when they talk about, okay, well, we need to see your husband. We need to see your relationship involved, Robin. Oh, well, she's gone now, but we need to see different things. But when you're talking about literally taking my words and Frankensteining them in somewhere else, that is something that you didn't sign up for, unless they tried to word it in the contract in a way where you probably would never think. Because I've seen a housewives contract before, and it was basic. The language wasn't this, but paraphrasing, basically, it was like, I'm allowed to make you look any way I want to make you look by any means. And I think at that point, you're not thinking they're going to take what I say and put it in a different scene.
That is absolutely the language in the contracts. And so I said this, I think in a live I did on my own channel, I said, in retrospect, you are an absolute fool to sign any reality TV contract that has control over how you are depicted. And I'm not talking about a little bit of control. I mean, total control. Once you sign on the dotted line, we do not care how you feel about it. It's insane to think you would be like, oh, yeah, this is great. Let's market my business. This is okay. Like, you don't even think through what you just signed enough to say, oh my God.
Right.
This means that if they decide to depict me as Cruella de Vil, I could destroy the very marketing that I am seeking because I have destroyed my consumer base who now thinks I'm a monster. I personally have my own theories about reality TV now being on it. I'm actually in the process of like documenting my journey.
Oh, I love it. So in book form and video form and both on the YouTube.
All the things.
Okay. Okay.
And one of the things that I believe that is strategically done by some production companies is that I believe that they intentionally manipulate the narratives of their characters.
Okay.
To both positively impact them, and it's almost like getting them addicted getting them hooked on a drug.
Okay. You mean being on the just being
correct
in the reality TV world? Okay.
So if I can appeal to your addiction, I can sell you the dream of fame, notoriety, celebrity, potential money, so that you're so distracted and high off of what you desire that you don't pay attention to the negative effects that may ensue on the back end, which is public scrutiny, negative impact on your business, damage to your reputation, damage to your public image. It doesn't matter. And I want to do it strategically so you also can't get off the hamster wheel.
Wow. So you're basically caught. There's nothing you'll be. Okay.
And so the dream I can sell you is that you're better off staying. You'll have another opportunity to fix it next season.
You can redeem yourself next season because we'll create a narrative. We'll give you a villain arc.
But that never happens. You realize that never happens.
Wow.
And so it is huge for someone like me to say, Yeah, I'm good. There's nothing you could sell me. There's no money you could give me. There's no nothing. I don't even care if you said, okay, Winter, we won't make you the villain next season. I don't care.
I'm
I'm
just,
good. I'm out.
and that is the liberation you're talking about, because you're not
Absolutely.
dependent on it. And you said it before, you're not dependent on it for finances, but there may be other reality stars that aren't dependent. But fame, they say fame is a hell of a drug. You have
Absolutely.
these, look at, was it Bette Midler tweeting about becoming a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Bette Midler, like, you are a world renowned actor, singer, and here you are talking about becoming a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. It's something that money can't buy. And even though she's famous, she may not be the best example in terms of fame, but it's still something that draws you in. Your average everyday person could be a millionaire, a billionaire, but they don't have that fame. So they're willing to get on a show, like you said, on a hamster wheel that promises all of these things.
Oh, and it's interesting. You see, like some people, I watched an interview with this may not be the best example because she's known as a villain to a lot of people on her show, but Lisa Rinna.
Yeah.
And her comment saying, "Oh, I would never do reality TV again." But she also got, I say, bit by the reality TV fame bug.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's all good until it isn't. You think that you have a handle on it. And I tell people, one of the biggest, I would say, mistakes I made season one is not knowing what I was getting into. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a consumer of reality TV. I didn't know anything about games being played. Like, I walked into a cast that had essentially established a pact without me.
Got you. Because, yes, right.
I didn't know about that pact until I violated it.
Mm.
That right there should have triggered me to be like, hold up, why do y'all need a pact?
But I could see how you wouldn't even, that wouldn't be a thought, because even us watchers of reality TV will sometimes say, if that was me, I would have did such and such. But if you've never been truly in it, you don't
Right.
know. So you weren't
Yeah.
even, not only were you not in it, you weren't even a consumer.
No, no clue. I mean, I used to watch back in the days of Real World,
Come
Road
on.
Rules,
Yes.
when reality TV was good. Like,
Yes. We used to
the
be a proper
early
country.
days, yeah, the early days of RHOA. Like, I
Oh,
remember thinking back of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and honestly, if people really go back and watch, y'all, it's really funny, actually. Like, it is pure comedy. The reading, all the shadiness. I never felt like it got bad until 4, 5, 6 seasons in. And now, unfortunately, to me, it's turned into just a cesspool of foolishness that I don't feel like depicts us as Black people in the best light.
yeah.
And
And I
and
think a lot of
honestly,
it was ego too. Now I'm on this fourth, fifth, sixth season, and on this hit reality show. I'm on Bravo, you know.
it's not. And I saw our show turn into that. I'm like, I don't want no. I want to be able to exist once this show is done.
Yeah.
I cannot be attached to things that are just blatantly ridiculous. Like, I just don't want to do it. So I love my freedom. I love being able to be normal. Yes, people are always gonna know me from my time there if they continue to watch. I'm never, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
part of it. It's in my, discography of things that I've did. But I definitely enjoy my solitude outside of the show. And I've taken a bit of a break from like social media at large. I'm not even hardly on IG like that. Most people are like, girl, where have you been? I'm like, I'm around. I'm just on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
I love Twitter. I
Me too.
love YouTube, but I like being like in the mix of people. I've always been a people person. I don't know. I feel like there's almost, I get it to some degree from a safety standpoint, but then I almost feel like people are so self-important these days, and I'm very normal. I like talking to people I don't know
Same.
online.
Same.
It's a healthy addiction. I don't do too much, but I just like people. I really, really do.
Mm.
And so I like the ability to be able to connect outside of them saying, oh my gosh, it's Winter from, Love and Marriage. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. So I like this side of things. It's really nice.
I mean, we've been talking the whole time. Like we talked about 30 minutes before, and the smile on your face is like has me smiling the whole time. Like, look, y'all, we just both here grinning for 30 minutes just talking.
Oh, it's just what a weight off. What a weight off.
What a weight off. And to be able to be authentically you without a spin being put on it. So, because people can also walk into reality TV, again, being authentically them, giving what the camera gets, but then when it's portrayed in a different way, it's like, well, now you've made me inauthentic and I was who I was. And then I think that could lead to people becoming then guarded on the show, and then their behavior changes because we've been reading comments and we want our viewers to like me, even though viewers can spot through the phoniness. And unfortunately, one thing I give reality people is sometimes you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you're authentically you, they want you to be what they think you are.
I
And
agree.
then when you're not, but then when you become what they want you to become, it's fake.
Be yourself. That's my recommendation. Like be yourself, because it is a damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, I saw this season 1 all the way until I quit.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not until I do platforms like this or I do interviews that people are like, well, oh my gosh, I really like her. She seems like, and it's like, this is the person I've always been. But when you also are dealing with a level of storytelling that is meant to create people to look a certain way because they've created a storyboard, that's just what it is.
Yep.
There's a level of you that is going to be tainted because of that. So it's good to do interviews like this. And if you do watch my interviews, you'll be like, well, heck, she's been the same person every time I've seen her. So this obviously
very consistent. Yep.
Yeah, she is. But I just always tell people I do believe, despite what editing shows, who you are will ultimately reign supreme at the end of the day.
I'm going to ask you this because you said before we get into Summerhouse, you have said that this type of reality TV you would not want to do again. How and ever. If I don't know who would have the power to make you do it, but let's say somebody said, Winter, you're in this reality TV world now. You have to pick one cast to become a part of, whether it's an own cast or a Bravo cast. What cast or franchise would you want to become a part of, and why did you pick that one?
Oh, wow. This is tough. What
There's 3 places I would want to put you, but I'm going to wait.
So, because I'm Southern, I remember even teasing Carlos at one point. I said, don't you want to move me to Bell Collective?
Oh, that would be very
Because
good.
I'm Southern by nature, and I just, Southern women move a little differently.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to think. I feel very easily into that cast.
Yes.
If she was still on the show, I could do Potomac. I believe that Candace and I would be a hoot.
I definitely 1000% support that, which yes.
Yeah, I do. I do feel like her and I could run some circles.
That would be a dream.
Last but not least, what's
Because you
another?
and her are friends, right? Or friendly.
We're
Yeah, okay.
friendly.
Okay.
We're friendly. Oh goodness, what's another show? And I had to take their cast. Sheesh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh my gosh, I don't know. This is the hazards of me not watching a whole lot of reality TV because I'm like, what show?
I would, because of your southernness and the way that you can read and the way that maybe your intelligence could maybe maybe I shouldn't use the word intimidate, but maybe kind of have people going, I would put you on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills so you could shake some things up over there.
So it's so crazy. So my two that I would have guessed would have been OC or Beverly Hills.
Hills.
I literally would that I was torn, but I was like, I don't even know who all is on that cast now because I started watching OC with Vicky and
Yeah.
Tamra and
Gretchen, hide your
Gretchen.
daddies, girls.
Yes. That's when I watched OC. And I don't even know, like I said, I don't even know who's still on there, but Beverly Hills, because love me or hate me, I do feel like there's a level of high society and
Yes.
high class I could bring.
Yep.
And being able to, you know, I don't want to say blend in because I don't, but adjust to the society of it all. I do feel like I could probably give them a run for their money. So yeah, Beverly Hills would be a good one.
I would love you could mix and mingle with the Hiltons and also be able to read you if need be.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting you say that because I will say that was probably an issue with my cast on Love and Marriage DC. I always felt like the odd man out.
Okay.
I mean, the truth is, I was not raised in the hood. I was not raised in the inner city. I was born and raised in the country.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So some of the edge that a lot of them had, I couldn't identify with, and they couldn't identify with me because we literally come from two different environments.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It's just not my experience. So it's some things that I lack a little street smart. I'm not street smart, street savvy because I didn't grow up we didn't have no streets. We did like we had cows, chickens, horses, tractors.
But would you say from, and I know we said we weren't going to get into the show, but I have to ask this. Would you say that although you'd say you didn't have the street smarts, the street savvy, and that edge, you may not have had the edge, but when those of the ones that had edge stepped to you, you kind of were just like, okay, and because you didn't let it phase you either. So on a different show, that would be, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there, like a Potomac, that would be, even though I wouldn't say Candace had edge, people like to act like her reads are clutch pearly, so shocking, but some of the stuff she said we would say, you know what I mean, but some of her castmates couldn't take it, i.e. had to call corporate, where and could you talk to her and tell her not to? But in your case, you didn't have to call corporate or go complain to your producer because you went to an exercise class in season 1 and you had two people arguing back and forth. You just stood there and said, I don't like your face either, or I don't like you either. So you were able to handle the edge, which I think when you come from a place where you have edge, you're used to being able to intimidate people. And when I can't intimidate the country girl, it's like, now hold on a minute.
Right.
What's going on with her that she's not reacting to my bark? So do you feel like that could have played a part in it? You never backed down from anything that was brought to you.
Yeah, but I'm also a church girl. I have dealt with bigger demons.
Come on. You about to make me run around this house.
I'm so serious.
You about to make me run around this house.
Being a PK, you just have to have thick skin. And I think that's what caught people off guard.
Okay.
And my reality is like, okay, like what? What are you going to do? Like,
okay.
What's going to happen at the end of this shindig? Like, I think that probably gets under people's skin more than
that's what I mean. But that's what I'm saying. If you have people barking at you in your face and you're like, okay.
Yeah, but that's the churchy side of me. It's like good church shade. Like you don't know shade until you've been cut by a church mother.
By a church, I was get ready to say by a church mother, the ones that give you the blankets to put over them legs, honey, if you got too much leg showing.
Absolutely. Like I
Yeah.
have heard people, and it doesn't make it right because I do feel like they damaged a lot of people
I
too,
was,
just
yes,
so
yes,
blunt, but
yes.
you don't know thick skin until you've had to endure some comments from church ladies and church members. And it's a doggy dog world more so than I think people would expect.
In the church. Mm.
Yeah, being raised in that environment, like I said, I've fought devils bigger than this. This is
This,
cakewalk. Like,
you can take, you and your edge can go somewhere.
yeah, and this is why I didn't cuss the first season either, because I wanted to prove that you didn't have to cuss to cut.
You don't have to cuss to cut. You better say it.
You
You do
don't.
not. When you
And
know how to put your words together.
use your words. It's not that difficult. So it was that part was fun for me. Contrary to popular belief, I enjoy shade. It's fun for me. I'm a wordsy person. Like, and I'm also very naturally witty. That is compliments to my grandmother and my mother. They are two of the funniest women I've ever met in my entire life.
That's how it was in my family. And if
Yes,
you had to learn early, you had to be quick early to keep up with them or they would eat you up.
absolutely. And so, that kind of coming natural to me, as long as it wasn't too low. And I always tried to never go too low. Like, I don't believe in that. I think there's a this is why I came up with the nickname season one, because I didn't want to go low. There's a lot of things I could have said, and I didn't. But I just think there's almost an art to it. But I don't mind the shade throwing. Some of it is like so funny to me. But it
Mhm.
might, well, some of my cast knows how I am. And sometimes I'm funny without intentionally being funny. And I'm not really trying to be funny, which is what makes it funny, is that
Yeah.
I'm actually being serious.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
in itself, and it's so funny because Ashley probably gets on me the most. And she was like, "You are such a bee, and you don't even realize it."
And you're like, no, I'm just being me.
She's like, "Winter, listen to what you just said. Like, say it again." And so if I say it, I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, dad. Yes.
like, wasn't that bad? What?" Um, but yeah, so that stuff I don't mind. And I feel like that's right. That's the essence of reality TV, being able
Yes.
to infuse storytelling, the characters of it all. And then when you do get into some, I don't think drama should be crazy, but some levels of
Mhm.
natural human conflict that happen, because in a group of people, you're always going to have something.
Yes. Yes.
Now the responses to the drama can create comedy, because
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone is going to respond differently, because what? We're not the same.
Right.
That's where I wish reality TV would be, and it's not.
You just made me think of, I forget what season of Atlanta it was, maybe 5 or 6. They were on vacation. Portia and Kenya were arguing, and they were somewhere, and Kenya started twirling, and Nene said, "That dress got you." What she said? That dress got you either thinking you crazy or you gonna get your A kicked or something. Like it was just naturally like Kenya's twirling and Nene's making like these sideline conversations, and it's just so
Funny.
funny. And I feel like sometimes I think viewers in general, and tell me if you agree, have gotten to a place where they forget that the seasons that we talk about, the good old days of reality TV, were not this drama filled. So now sometimes we'll have shows that have hints of that old little bit of drama, but they say it's boring. We need to make something happen. It's like, well, wait a minute. If we're
Yeah.
saying we don't want the toxicity and we don't want the drama, some of these shows do have hints of the old ways. I mean,
Yeah.
you said you used to watch OC. Heather getting upset, Heather Dubrow getting upset because somebody took the bow off of a cake, a name changing cake, I believe. So it's like those are the types of things that I like to see. But we're in a place now where people are like, you got to make something happen. And it's like, I would rather, like you said, watch a group of people that have natural drama. I'll never forget somebody on Dance Mom said, the situations may be created and produced. However, the feelings that come out of that situation are our real feeling. So yes, they're putting us together, knowing we don't like each other. You're going to get natural drama, and they're not forcing anything.
Yeah. I really think reality TV is in need of a major overhaul.
I agree.
Which is why you get some of the Netflix is killing it in the realm of reality TV.
Do you watch the Selling Sunset, Selling OC,
Yes.
Selling? Okay. I'm gonna have to have you back.
Selling Toronto.
What? Selling Toronto? I didn't know they had that.
Or not Selling Toronto, Luxury Listings Toronto.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
And considering I just got back from Toronto on Sunday, it's one of my favorite places. I'm personally invested because I love Toronto so much. But Luxury Listings Toronto. What's the African
Young, Rich, and African,
Young,
or
Rich,
Young,
African.
Famous? Yeah, one. Yeah, yes.
This is why those shows, or The Circle, this is why those shows take off the way they do.
Yeah.
Because they literally give us authentic, good reality TV evolution.
Yeah, yeah.
This old formula that we've gotten stuck in is, to me, stale. And the reaction that you see from the audience of give us more, give us more, give us more, give us more, is because they're tired of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it's because they necessarily want the drama, because again, when you do give them more drama, they complain.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, look at, yeah.
So I don't think it's that they want it. It's just that they're tired
of the same old.
Yeah, because what I believe, it's interesting because I do think their numbers are a little bit indicative of it. It's Huntsville.
Okay.
Huntsville's ratings, if you guys go back and look at some of their earlier seasons, they're 500, 600,000.
Yes, yes.
Whereas now we're struggling to crack 300.
And there's more drama.
Way more drama than ever.
Okay. But people are tired, like you said.
And people say it's because of the blackout. People are just tired. Blackout has contributed some, but I really think people are exhausted with the same thing. Now, what I believe they're going to strategically try to do is pivot and go back to some of the happier times, but now people are going to get bored.
And that's what people are going to get bored, or because the relationships were so damaged, we're never going to believe it was authentic. Hence, Potomac, if we had seen a season, Candace coming back, sitting down with Giselle, and Giselle leading that charge, we know it will be inauthentic because you just came from an entire season of not talking. So the same with Huntsville. It's like, okay, so now you mean to tell me these people are the best of friends again? No. Right. So you're absolutely right.
The audience isn't as dumb as people would like for us to believe. They're actually pretty smart, which is why I love talking. Like when I do some of these interviews, I like it because now, moving into more content creation, I get to, I would say, network more with other platforms. And I listen to people's thought process and how they break down certain scenes or episodes. And I'm like, people are really, really smart. They're smarter than we realize. So I don't know that I'm going to say I would be shocked if Huntsville recovers its original numbers.
I'm with you. I agree. I don't think they're going to capture that in a bottle, the lightning in a bottle that they had season 1 going into 2. I don't think so either. And what's sad is to watch it go down a tacky route of bringing on a producer. To me, it just seems, I'm just going to be straight up honest. For those of y'all that don't watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, basically they had a person on the cast that was dating someone that she had known for 15 years. And this person had a producer, like all reality TV people have producers, their own producers. And she would tell the producer, she says about this boyfriend, the producer had talked to the guy on the phone before. Fast forward, the producer is now married to her talent's old boyfriend. And to watch Carlos King become a part of the show, bringing his podcast onto the show, and then bringing out his old producer with her new husband to talk about destiny it was just tacky to me. And I said, if this is where we're headed to try to get to recover those numbers, like you said, I'm not interested. And I have struggled because I told the listeners, and for people that are subscribers of my YouTube, I'm going to do Love and Marriage Huntsville for y'all. I watched the first episode on time, took my notes, and haven't been able to bring myself to watch.
Uh, I this is the hazards of not pivoting soon enough.
Yeah.
This should have been dead in seasons ago. But this is also the hazards of real life.
Yeah.
I believe what we have witnessed on Huntsville is the collision of reality TV and reality.
More real life me. Yep.
And at some point, it just gets old to the viewers. And once you damage that core, it's very hard to recapture
and repair.
Yeah, and this whole infusion, I agree. I don't think it was a good move. I honestly question Destiny's decision to come back under these pretenses.
Same. To be because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, for me, I felt like she was finally finding her footing and growing her base, and it's hard to watch, honestly.
It is. But Destiny has been transparent, relatively a little bit about her financial situation, and this is what it speaks to what you said initially on when I asked you how you were doing, how you were feeling, and you said you feel liberated because you were able to walk away from a situation that wasn't good for you, and it had no tie to fame. You didn't depend on it for your money, and this is what happens when, unfortunately, this is another source of income for you that you need. And now you're coming back, almost the butt of the joke, but not quite, but kind of. And the producer of the show is in on the joke. He's helping write the joke.
I hate it because what I think too, there must not have been consideration given to her being a producer. There's a level of understanding and knowledge she has about how this game is played.
Come on.
Which, in my opinion, gives her an unfair advantage. I wouldn't have trusted it.
No. So now I have to be a part of this show with this woman, and the things that even the interviews that the producer is doing, it's like it was mind blowing to me. And you hear things throughout the years about different producers and this and that, but just looking at the creator of the show, and it just was like, this is really where we are for ratings. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, digging that low is there's consequences to that. But
yeah, and hopefully not long term for her. Hopefully she can use this as a stepping stool to, because
I say not my monkey, not my zoo anymore.
Come on, you better say that. Well, speaking of, you talked about being funny and being shady, but not being mean. And that's what I try to do. I like to be sarcastic. Like same thing. My grandmother, my mom were so quick, so funny. And so I like to be those things. And that's why I like Twitter, because you only get a minimal amount of words. And that's where you can tell that people are really like, that person's really funny, to get their whole thought process out in a funny way and in different characters. I had tweeted twice today about Bria, and I said, that's not the way you want to go, because she had frustrated me so much in this Summerhouse episode. Well, from last season. So, and I had to delete my tweet because it's a struggle. It's like, I don't want to be mean. So delete, let me be funny. So let's jump into Summerhouse. Before we talk about the episode overall, well, not even overall, what got you into Summerhouse? Were you in season 1? Did you have to go back and binge? What brought you in?
Candace Dillard Bassett is the reason why I started watching Summerhouse.
Hey, Candace.
Yeah, she kept talking about it. You guys should watch it. And her and I follow each other on Twitter. So I was like, okay, Candace, I'm going to give it a shot. I turned it on. it was a slow burn initially. Of course,
Yeah.
you're getting kind of the foundation. You're learning who
Mhm.
the players are in the house, and next thing you know, I'm hooked.
Did you start with season one?
I did. I went back and
Okay.
I started from the beginning because I don't like jumping into some things
Same.
because I need to understand because of how I know reality TV works. I can't jump in the middle. So we're gonna have to go all the way back.
Yep.
It's not like Married at First Sight, right?
Yes, where it's new every, yeah.
Right. So no, let me start. So I started back at season one. Next thing you know, I started watching it like noon. By midnight, I had binge watched and caught up until the current season. I could not stop watching it.
Oh my gosh.
I was invested. And then I became so invested because then of course, you have your favorites, right? I love Preston.
Me too.
And I love Preston because to me, he is balanced, whereas he's himself. It's a little bit of shady, little bit of emotion, holds people accountable,
Yes.
sprinkles of drama, perfection.
Yeah.
Whereas
Come on and say, come on.
Bria is a melting pot of chaos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lots of chaos and it's bubbling over.
And yeah, it's like a volcano that explodes every single episode. I know I would have probably gotten kicked out of the house for losing my cool and cussing her out, something
I,
serious.
they would,
Like she's
yeah.
one of those that test all the Jesus you have, you know?
All the Jesus and all the I don't put my hands on people. I don't snatch people. I don't do that. So
Yeah.
let me she would be they wouldn't have had to vote. Y'all ain't got to vote. Yeah, I knocked her into the pool. I'm just gonna go ahead and get my stuff. I'm good. There would not have had to have been a vote like with Mariah. I'm out.
Yeah. She Summer's a close second for me.
Let me tell you, there's something about her that just rubs me kind of like, there. And especially with this season, I didn't like her conversations about Nick and specifically about his wandering eyes when, how do you know that you're not making people uncomfortable always naked? And I always go back to last season when Bria got upset and people were like, Bria, why are you getting upset when Shanice got naked? If you remember, Shanice was not completely naked when it was just the women at the house. They had went out, came back. It wasn't until the men got back that
Yep.
Shanice then took off all of her clothes. And Bria had a problem like, you had your clothes on this whole time. And now you're taking your clothes off. What's changed? The men are here. And my man is a part of that. If she had been naked the whole time, that's one thing. But for her to be talking about Nick and wandering eyes, Shanice, we're all looking, all of us, because you're naked.
It's Shanice, Summer, Bria, and let's just go ahead and throw in Jordan for good
Come
measure.
on. And that used to be my boo. And I just,
But what is very interesting with this cast is that I find they have very few level-headed women. Everyone has some level of extreme emotional chaos.
at some point or another, it's like, yeah.
And I'm like, can we, third season, can we just consider? And a young Labuki. We need a Yangla. She needs to come in and fix some of these ladies' lives. Because what I feel like with the majority of them is we are seeing like a heightened sense of adolescent unhealed trauma on
Yes.
massive display, right? I would say the most level-headed is probably Jasmine.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you probably see that played out in her maturity as far as being the one that got married.
And then
But
have the baby and
yeah, there's a lot of immaturity and unhealed trauma that is, man, it's painful to watch. And Bria is just a brat. I just
that's what it is. Summer. I said summer. Look, summer, winter.
I answer to all seasons. It's okay.
I love, but that's what it is. It's the brattiness that
She's a
adds
brat.
that extra layer.
She's a brat. She's a brat, and um, her lack of emotional maturity and intelligence. She's actually verbally abusive to Simon. And it's like I tell people, we can't preach equality against, gender equality if we're not willing to hold women accountable for the same thing that we hold men accountable for.
Well,
And
in this episode, yep.
oh, she is a piece of work. And I'm like, so we're just going to ignore the fact that she talks to him like he's garbage? And I said this and I stand on it because I tweeted it. It's out there now. Let's be clear. I believe she dates outside of her race because she knows most Black men wouldn't tolerate her behavior.
And I did a review on it last week, and someone had commented, and it was a really good comment, that they hope that it ties into what you're saying about dating outside of her race, but also they hope that she doesn't just use being Black card like how she was with Simon. I mean, I get it. If his family members are saying something, that's absolutely not okay. But you saying that just made me think of that comment. Like, is she using that as a weapon?
For some reason, I feel like she weaponizes it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, Bria doesn't. I want to say this gingerly because I was accused of this growing up and I'm very sensitive to it. So I say this in the most respectful way possible. But to me, Bria doesn't lead with her Blackness.
Yes. And that's, I was accused of that growing up too, growing up in a majority white school, when it's like I had no choice but to be, because I was one of the only.
Yeah.
So there was, but yeah, that's, well, I had tweeted, who were Bria's friends growing up?
Yeah.
Because this level of behavior that she has with her friends. And in this episode, one of the things I wanted was interesting to me, fast forwarding into the episode, because we can kind of jump around, but when some of the women were back at the house talking about soulmates, and Nick, Amir, Alex, and Shanice went bike riding, and they started talking about Bria. And Alex says, one of the things he didn't like was when men get into it with the woman. And Amir says, absolutely. However, she kind of came at me like that too. And Nick and Alex, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, wait, I wanted to get exactly what he said. He said something like, I have it somewhere. Oh, okay, here it is. Amir's like, basically, they shouldn't, but the women also shouldn't think they can talk to us any kind of way either. You get respect by giving respect. Alex says 100%, but we have to practice. So as soon as she gets to that level, disengage. And then Shanice says, yes, you just walk away. And I said, see, I don't necessarily agree, because that's how a person continues to be that person in a friend group, because everyone is, we just need to disengage and let her have her blow up moment. Absolutely not.
Yeah. It's toxic, chaotic behavior that obviously didn't get checked. I'm looking at her parents sideways
Listen,
because it's given a lack of discipline and somebody didn't tell her that that was unacceptable.
and Preston's
Because
the only one that can check her, it seems like, and she go right back to him. You notice that?
uh this is why I like Preston. Because he is, I call him the Bria whisperer, but he shouldn't have to be. We're
Yeah,
talking about a capable grown woman. Like, your behavior is pretty atrocious, but there's something very, like I said, there's a lack of emotional maturity with her. There's something very juvenile about her.
that's
And so I don't know that her maturity is that of an adult just yet. I feel like she is still very much evolving, but I just don't want to skirt over the fact that I do feel like she is emotionally and verbally abusive. I mean, and strikes me as the type that would haul off and hit him
I
without
was
the.
mm-hmm, I agree.
Yeah, I have sons, and you're not going to put your hands on my son.
Not at all. I have one, and yeah, that's what you're not going. Yeah, I agree.
So I may be a little more sensitive to see women act like that because I know as a mama and a mama bear, I wish you would. Like, you're gonna have to come see about me. You're not gonna hit my son.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been taught to respect women and not, put their hands on women, and they've been taught to communicate and use their words. You don't get to take advantage of that because you lack emotional maturity.
Yes, and then turn around and become a victim of this big bad man is hollering at me. I'm of the belief I don't have an issue. If a man and a woman have an argument, I don't have an issue with a man arguing back with a woman as long as it doesn't get to the. But if the way she was talking to Nick, I understand why Nick got slightly high. He wasn't screaming at the top of his lungs. It's like you don't get to scream and holler and think that they just have to immediately disengage. We're adults we should be able to communicate on an adult level. I didn't like it when you said this. I didn't like it when you said that. And if you notice, like you said, like a kid, she always walks away.
Yep.
And then when she came back, because we start off the episode with her and Nick from the week before, and Nick was like, when it comes to my reputation, I'm angry. And she's saying, let it out, bro. Say it, bro. And I was like, girl.
Yeah, baiting. It's an antagonistic tactic.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand an antagonist.
That's mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm trying. Like I couldn't be in a conversation with her because I know before all said and done, I would have snapped on her. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
it's like a kid.
Like a kid, yes. So yeah, she's definitely this finale was fueled by the whole Nick drama.
What did you think? Because I was so the conversation around Nick and handsy and flirty to me was going into such a slippery slope. And I will say one of the times I agreed with Summer is when she was in her confessional and was like, I don't understand. Me and Jordan had a conversation with Nick this season, but he hasn't touched Shanice. He hasn't touched Bria. He hasn't touched Noelle. So why are y'all talking?
Yeah. It should have never been discussed. Let's start there. And we have to be mindful of what the implications are.
Right.
Especially against our Black men. Let's be mindful. Let's not. Mm-hmm. Now, the only side eye I will give Nick is that we didn't know this Joker had a girlfriend. And it was a shock to us by the way he was behaving. Because he acted like he was single and ready to mingle. We ain't forgetting it.
Because he wanted Jordan.
Yeah, we ain't forget.
And he was being, when he talked about Bria's donk, he was being flirty then. Like, let's be clear. But it could have been said differently. But you were being, your girlfriend would not have appreciated that conversation for sure.
My man would. What are we doing? What are we doing? So in that aspect, so this is the thing. I feel like we have to take into account like real human movements.
Okay.
It's not uncommon for girls to have girl talk about stuff like that.
Right. You're right. Okay. You're right.
What I take issue with is Amir's little girlfriend carrying that back.
Come on.
And breaking girl code. You didn't have to go say nothing. That was not your responsibility.
Especially when you were not talking to them before. You weren't all in the conversation before.
So why insert yourself now, sis?
The level of wanting to scream when she was stroking Tasia's hair last week.
Oh my God. What a
said,
move.
You want to chat with me? Now, what did you think? Because you've been in reality TV, I thought, did a producer get in Amir's ear or her ear and tell her to get more interactive? Because she was very much hands off. that whole entire weekend she was there.
I was explaining this. People don't understand when there are producers on the ground, when you have these field producers, do they tell us what to say? No. But at certain points throughout the scene, your producer can hold up a phone and it will say, go pull Tasia to the side and ask her. That's what it gave to me.
Okay.
And now, you don't have to do what they flip up on that screen. She made a decision if they did that to her, she hopped her little butt up and went and did it. That's the issue I take.
Okay.
Why are you getting involved?
Well, and the way Amir was trying to ride for her this episode, which I think is funny because he got upset. He made the comment when Nick and Bria got into it at the beginning of the episode in his confessional, like, because you wouldn't be talking to my girlfriend like that. But then he turned around and was louder than Nick, understandably so, but louder than Nick with Bria. And I just thought that was interesting. Like, oh, you had all this. He won't talk to my girlfriend like that. But the way he called her a girl's girl and said that she was just trying to have Tasia not be caught off guard. And I wonder, were they talking caught off guard by what? Oh, when she watched it on TV. That's what because if it's me, you, and two of our friends, and we're talking about one of our other friends, but we're not going to say anything. But if we're filming a TV show, I might say, oh, because I don't want her to be caught off guard, meaning when she watches it in a couple of months.
My issue with Amir is that much like he did season 1 in his failure to take accountability for his involvement in the way the thing Mariah went down, Amir didn't take accountability this time either.
No.
You facilitated your girlfriend walking her happy butt over there in the first place instead of saying, no, sit this one out. Don't get involved.
And remember when he was sick inside and she went into him last week and he was like, go ahead and tell him.
Yeah. And he also said, how did it go?
Right.
She don't want to talk to me. Well, sir, you're an accomplice.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to sit up here and act like you didn't know what was going down. You were a part of it and you encouraged it. So now don't try to get all big and bad now because it didn't go her way. And then your behavior outside of the show, buddy, somebody needs to explain how this goes. You don't sit here and threaten your self-important self, because it is a level of self-importance. I don't care how many compliments Andy gives you. Andy is not the audience, and Andy doesn't drive the ratings for your show.
Right.
So I felt it very rich of him to bring himself on somebody's public platform.
Come on.
And essentially slap your entire African-American audience in the face when a lot of us have rallied for people to get behind and watch this show. We don't care that your girlfriend is not Black. We care about representation in a space that typically doesn't represent us well. She can keep visiting like Simon.
When are you about to make me run through this house? Child, say it again.
But it's ridiculous. And I think for me, this is where people need media training. Yeah. People wonder why I interview well. I have media training.
Yeah.
But I didn't have media training for reality TV. I did pageants. We were required to have media training.
Yes. Okay.
You're not going to get on an interview stage and not know how to interview. You can't do it. I did the Miss America circuit. You better know how to interview well. Yes. You better know how to interview well. You better know how to respond to a question.
Okay. Okay.
But what I find is those who don't respond how they normally would real time, not understanding the implications of not understanding the implications of our words when we engage in certain conversations that can be deemed as offensive. And to me, his word. As a viewer, he lost my respect. I will still support the show, but I would prefer not to see him back.
That when I tell you, just and I said I had to make sure in my mind when Amir first came on last season, I tweeted and said, this is a social experiment for Amir. He's using us Black folks as a social experiment because he's half. That is truly how I felt upon meeting him. This is all a social experiment for him. And the whole, I want to date Jordan. Sir, you don't date us. I truly believe that also. You don't date people that look like Jordan. You date people that look like your girlfriend. And then I had to attribute it to, okay, Taria, people grow. But, you know, his old tweets about Black women being scary, Black women. I said, but you know what? People are allowed to grow. The thing with that is, do you have to address everything? No. But you're on a Black cast, a cast full of beautiful Black women that you claim to love, and you don't publicly come out and address or apologize, even though they're old tweets. It was interesting because there were old tweets of others, you know, housewives, reality. We demanded that they account or atone for those tweets. But when it came to someone that people maybe thought was traditionally good looking, if you will, it was, oh, he's young, or they just swept it under the rug. But also probably because that vitriol was geared towards Black women, and we know how that goes. So I was trying not to let that cloud my mind, but that was the feeling that I initially got when he came on, and I still have that feeling. I feel like Amir would fit better in the original Summerhouse than over here, and you're taking up space in a space that you really are using maybe for fame or whatever. There's just something about him that is so unappealing to me. And I feel like, again, this is his Black social experiment.
I couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. And I think, and it's crazy because when I tweeted after watching season 1 of Summerhouse, I was like, I like Amir. He seems like the fun little brother. He has a good personality. But when I say, I was like, what a fall from grace. Like, what in the world has happened? But what you said makes perfect sense because he's very clear about his upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
He does not identify with the Black experience.
Mm-mm.
And so this is his first immersion of a sort. And I also can tell that's not his primary environment, even outside of this show.
Bingo.
Because his girlfriend was too shocked.
Yes.
His girlfriend was like, oh, he really is Black. And these really are Black people. And you mean to tell me Black people really do act like that? Like, you could see in her face, she was stunned.
Yeah.
It was a real culture shock for her. Now, it's interesting because someone wanted to go back and forth with me on Twitter, and I think I just ended up frustrating them. But they were like, oh, you're just racist and you're mad that a Black man dating outside of his race.
Child.
I said, okay. Amir is mixed race. He's not a Black man dating outside of his race. He's a mixed race dating outside of his race. I don't care. Secondly, my daughter's boyfriend is Hispanic. The least problematic Hispanic that I've ever come across, one of my best friends is Hispanic. I've known her for as long as my son has been alive, and he's 20.
Okay.
She's mixed race. She is half Puerto Rican and half Black. She is more Puerto Rican than she is Black because she was raised by her Puerto Rican family.
Got you. Okay.
But I don't see her shape-shifting.
Come on. That's yes.
In a way that's problematic, nor is she offensive to her Black side. There's a level of understanding that she has, while she may not be able to overtly identify because that was not her environment.
Yes.
She gets it. My daughter's boyfriend is fully Hispanic. He gets it. We've never had one issue.
Come on, Winter. Yes.
So for me, it's like, no, let's call a thing a thing. The issue is that he has such a lack of identity that he can absolutely have the kind of heat he had for Bria. He can absolutely have the type of heat he had for Mariah. And lack of defense for Mariah. Let's start there.
Yes. Yes.
Lack of accountability, because let's be clear, sir, you contributed to that.
Yes. Yes, you did. Oh, I know what you get ready to say.
But then flip your happy behind and have all the heat in the world to defend your non-Black girlfriend.
And when she would embarrass him in front of the, oh, I sell more than him.
We don't even know if she likes him for real. We don't know that she likes him like that, that she would walk into this house and be condescending in less than 24 hours upon arrival.
Knowing that these are
known. Right. Make it known that she put you on.
Come on.
You have no money. And if you become anything, it is in large part thanks to her.
Yeah.
Sir, math ain't mathing.
No, at all. But that, I didn't even think about that, Winter. The point, like you said, he had all this smoke for the Black women, but not for, yeah.
Anytime she blinks, he cowers down.
Yep.
But this is the same man that tweeted he was scared of Black women. You don't act like it in this house.
Come on. Come on.
You don't act like it in this house at all.
Mm-mm.
And I don't believe that to be true. No, what it sounds like to me is that you don't have the range to entertain a Black woman. Because you yourself don't have the range to identify with the Black man that you are.
That you are. And you, when you talked about your friend who is half Hispanic, half Black, she was raised by her Hispanic part, but she doesn't offend.
No.
It's like with him, of course, to me, I never believed in telling someone, because there are a lot of people who are white, who are biracial, and you may have the Black community saying, you need to say you're Black, and the white community saying, you need to say you're white. And I feel like they should be allowed to identify with who they are, because they're not just one. However, with Amir, it didn't feel like to me like, wow, you do have people that, wow, I'm biracial. I've never been around my Black side. Now here I get this opportunity. I'm excited. It came off like an experiment to me versus being truly interested in identifying with us. That's how I took it. So everything that you just said too about how he talked to the Black women in the house, child, I just, yeah.
It's how people can't blatantly see the reason why so many of us are offended by Amir is, to me, absolutely problematic, and honestly the source of why we can't get to the bottom of a lot of our race equity issues, because you have too many people that want to major in the minors and not focus on the actual issue at hand. So I can say for myself, focusing on this drama with Nick and not getting to the source sooner made for a lackluster finale for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Because I thought you were going, look, I had preemptively thought you were going somewhere else with it, but that was okay. Okay.
Because I don't make this about them. Don't make this about them.
And we made the finale about a woman who is not a part of the cast and is not even, who left. Because I will say, when I was taking my notes and watching it, and I watched it twice, I told you, I was like, at the end, okay, we got this toast on the beach, and then we're like, it just seemed, it wasn't, I don't even know how to put it into words. You just did lackluster.
It's lackluster. And I think what a disservice, because it was such a good season.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed the season, because I didn't think the season was boring. People were talking about, I enjoyed
this. Yep, I enjoyed the season, but it was a lackluster finale. I was like, dang it. But a lot of it, I feel, just focused too much on the Nick and the I can't even think of girl name.
Natalie.
Karen. Yes.
Wouldn't you have rather seen like forget all that talk. Summer stay and try to hash it out with the people in the house or something. I would have rather. I get she had to leave for her own mental health 2 days before, but
Yeah, I much would have rathered that, but
what do you think about Summer? Come on, I will say
she wears me out
she does.
too.
I'll give her. I'll give her her flowers in that confessional with that black and that red lip, giving it to us. Child, the rest.
She's a mess.
Did you catch when she said in her confessional when she was leaving? Hold on, because I wanted to ask you about this. Come on, come on. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, tell me. Oh, in her confessional, she said the chaos and mess are so beautiful because it allows for expansion and growth. And I said, if you expand and actually grow from it, I don't know. Summer definitely has a lot of work to do. And then I also noticed how she said she couldn't wait to get back home to her Nana and her friends. And almost to me, that meant going back to my comfortable place and not necessarily maybe doing the work, just getting out of here because half of the house is pissed at me. So, and my feelings are hurt. It's hard for my feelings to be hurt because I caused it, but they're still hurt. So I need to get out and go back to my comfortable spot. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was gonna say, because I'm confused, because you are the reason. You the reason why your own feelings are hurt. You caused this. It's you, sis. You the problem.
Is it me? Right?
You indeed, my friend, are the problem. I just need her to go through a little bit more therapy before we bring ourselves to reality TV. And it's interesting because I do feel like there's a place for reality TV stars like Summer, but not this completely unhinged. When she started ripping and tearing through that house,
like Milo when he was tearing up Bria's room.
and it's too many toddlers running around.
You said ripping and tearing through that. When she kicked that box out of the way, when Noelle was going after her,
it was too much. And honestly, that's how I felt about Bria attacking that flamingo. Girl, I was too through. I was like, it's too much. This is daddy daycare at this point.
Do you think that Bria was embarrassed because in her mind, Black folks was out and about at the party? But then I saw like another random white guy standing at the sink and I was like, who is that? Or maybe that was Jordan's party. I was like, who is that? But do you think Bria may have been thinking these Black folks are looking at me like, Simon, like here he come down and everybody's like, and I think that's what heightened her anger. Like she was embarrassed thinking like, they were thinking like,
girl, you know who that man is. You know who that man is. I do think she was just embarrassed, but
yeah,
there is. So in Bria's defense, I'm gonna give her a defense on this.
Oh, okay.
I do understand her frustration because why? Why are you bringing this flamingo? And I'm easily embarrassed when it comes to my romantic partners.
Okay.
Like, don't embarrass me. That's a Southern thing.
Okay.
Don't shame me. Please don't shame. Oh my gosh, this happened to me during the season. Oh gosh, I'll tell you guys the behind the scenes stories.
Okay.
But oh gosh, where are we going? Okay, so this is for one of my castmates had a retirement party.
Okay, I know who that is. Okay.
And they have this like like those decorations now, like magazine cases, and you stand behind the magazine and you take the pictures like a photo.
Yes.
So they had one of these for his retirement party. And I look good. It's like, okay, just like my outfit was outfitting, and
okay. No. Wait.
Help me, Lord. It's the truth. I have never been so shamed. But if you're gonna wear a suit, please make sure it's tailored. Please don't show up sloppy. And for God's sake, with all that is loving and holy, do not wear no Jordans with no suit.
Winter. Oh. And it wasn't even tailored, so you couldn't even pull it off like
it was sloppy. He had on a beanie because he had dreads, but he had on a beanie, a suit, a sloppy suit at that, with some Jordans.
Oh my, I know you were like, and we about to be on camera.
My friends were there. I looked at my friends. What I told you about my hairdresser. My
Yes,
hairdresser
yeah.
was like, Winter, why didn't you have your stylist style him too? I said, I had no idea
Because you
that
thought he would
in
have.
this town he would show up. Oh, I was so shamed.
Oh my
Now,
God.
I'm not Bria. I'm not going to make a person feel bad because what can we do?
I mean, at this point, right.
We here now. Just y'all, please don't do no full body shots. All I ask. And they did oblige because I noticed they cut out certain clips they did get of us where they would have gotten, because
Full
believe it or
body.
not, like production is cognizant of what people wear and stuff like that. Like they want us to look good on camera. So it's something
Okay.
they won't show. So yeah, so I was fortunate when I saw it edited. I'm like, oh, thank God. Because let me tell you what, they would tore us up in them reviews. Not us, him. They
Him.
tore him up.
But and then that still would have made you feel shameful. Like, yo.
Well, because then they would have been like, now, Winter, why didn't you tell this man that he was about to be on camera? Oh, I don't like to be shamed. So from that standpoint,
You give it to Bria.
I'll give it to Bria because I would have been like, now, I also will give it to Bria from the standpoint that Simon was also like Amir's girlfriend trying to be seen.
Oh, yeah, he definitely was. He definitely you I clocked that last week when he went and apologized to Nick and said, I'm very sorry. When you want to talk, just let me know. That is a reality TV thing. Do you want to go talk? You get your scene. So he said, if you and Nick was like, no, we don't need to talk. We're good. I was like, oh, he wants his camera time as well.
And remember, Bria said he was upset that he had to leave early.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
Yep.
I believe that Bria was annoyed for a couple of different reasons. A,
Okay.
he embarrassed her, but B, she was starting to see that he was starting to get a little clout chasey.
Well, I mean, good for her. That good thing she's got a soulmate in New York. Because ain't that what she said that on this episode? Do you believe in soulmates? Nicole, I think, Noelle asked, and Bria said, yeah, her soulmate was in New York, but she can see her and Simon married.
She ain't a child. If her and Simon end up married,
I wonder if Simon has a little bit of coins.
hmm,
Because she lived with him in Germany for how long? Like she went over there and
that would
lived.
surprise me. Maybe.
So
Because
he
she
might,
does give me kept.
yes.
Kept soft life. Yeah.
Somebody said you can always tell by a wig or a weave, like kept soft life. Like if it's a black woman with a white man and that wig is jacked up. Now in the confessional, she's good, but child during the scene, I said, get some braids. Because I'm tired of seeing this.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if he did, and that's, her reaction I didn't like, but I understood her
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that is, that whole presentation thing coming from the Southern church
Yeah.
mama, oh, baby, you ain't just gonna show up any kind of way.
And
And I'm
embarrassed me.
into that. I mean, it's no secret I've been married twice before. And fortunately, with my first husband, I never had that issue. But my second husband, we were only married for a year, thank God. But he was much older than I was.
Oh,
And
yeah.
his game was horrific. Talk about the black wife effect. We had to give the black wife effect because, sir, you will not be dressing like my grandfather.
Oh, yeah, because he was older. Yeah.
Oh, it was horrid. His style was, and it's crazy. What blew me was that when we dated, he dressed hip. But I
But then he
found out,
got you.
then he got me. And boy, oh boy, did those old man tendencies come back with a vengeance. And I said, oh, absolutely
Really
not
not.
going down on my watch. I refuse. I remember like people in the airport just staring,
At him.
like, how in the world did this happen? Because I mean, I present a lot younger than I am.
Yeah, you look right. You look very young.
So but he presents young. Well, he did. He did present younger than he was, but still much older than me. So it
Okay.
wasn't like people couldn't tell that.
Look,
People could clearly tell he was older.
people might have been looking at you like, let us make sure he's like at the airport. He's not
Track,
kidnapping or taking
I'm
you
trying to
back.
tell you, blink twice. Blink twice if you're okay.
This
And
is my man. Thank you.
he literally um he hated turning old. He really did. But
Okay.
at a certain point you got to learn how to age gracefully. But yeah, that was a huge thing of like kind of adjusting his dress because I was like, okay,
Wow.
we can't do this. Now thankfully, thank God we have moved on and
To brighter
um
pastures, greener
brighter
pastures.
pastures and my baby knows how to dress. He's top notch from the moment I met him. And we don't have any, I'm like, oh, thank God it's one less thing I got to worry about because it is stressful to be going to all these places. I'm like, I go to a lot of events. I don't
Yes.
want to be shamed now. Don't be coming here and making me look crazy.
With your
So
with your J's and your beanie and your ill-fitted suit.
I just didn't understand it. I feel like every man should have at least one good fitted suit.
Let me tell you, my husband at one point had like was collecting like we made like because you just never know. You may black one, navy, gray, like and a nice fitted, like you said.
It's gotta happen. Like legitimately, I do not agree with, oh, I hate it so much. I'm like, please don't do me like that. Like have some respect, please.
So you hear that, Bria? Winter has opened my eyes, and we gave you a little bit of a pass
Give me a little
on
grace.
why you felt the way. Yeah, we gave you some grace on why you felt the way that you felt.
They just should have displayed her emotions better. I think her communication could stand to use an overhaul, but I did see her in that moment because I would have been like, if you don't take that flamingo off,
Like looking at him like this. I know you.
yeah,
Yeah,
please.
talking through your teeth.
Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with it. Go put that flamingo up expeditiously, please.
Now, let me ask you a question because we talked about Summer and we know that Summer is dealing with a lot of things. And like she went sober at the party last week and she decided to leave early. We know what happened with Summer and Noelle. And there is a part of me, I get why Noelle felt the way she felt. I also wonder, like, when she didn't want to get out and say, like, get out of bed and say goodbye. And I was wondering if something else happened because I'll give Summer a little bit. Summer kept telling her, even though Summer needed to, keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
But Summer kept telling her last week, I don't want to talk about it. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And Noelle kept pulling at her, hugging her, what's wrong, following her. And Summer was like, I don't want to talk about it. And they got into Summer's room. And Summer was like, please, my issue is not with you, it's with Bria, but I know that I'm going to explode on you. So please, I can't talk about it. And Noelle says, okay, it just seemed like something deeper. So it was like Noelle kind of, to me, kept pushing.
Yeah.
And Summer had kind of warned her like, hey. So then when you got that reaction, it was like she wanted nothing else to do with Summer. And I appreciate Noelle for saying, okay, my boundary's been crossed. I'm going to step back from the relationship. But also I wondered, was it more that we didn't see? Because it was an abrupt, like, no.
I don't think you're wrong. And this is where reality TV is interesting, where they cut out some scenes that would provide context because
Yeah.
it did seem like we missed something.
Like we
What did we miss?
saw Summer comforting Noelle by the pool when Noelle was crying. Like, and I know that Summer has kind of, she talked about to Noelle, yeah, I should have told you that he was inside me. And it was like, okay, girl, we get
Why
it. But
did
I'm
she
like,
say
what
that?
else happened?
Why did she say that? Like, I thought that was such a,
Way to
that
say,
she really, she kind of put me off. Like, I'm like, why would you say something like
the
that?
second time you said it the first time at dinner with everyone, and now you're saying it directly to me
It was odd, right? I
to
wasn't
say
around.
that he was,
That was Like, why
Yeah.
do we need to know those details?
And to say he was inside me and I made him how many times? Like, that was very pointed. Like,
I thought that was very weird. That was the one time where I'm like, oh, something ain't right.
yeah.
Because you can't say you don't care
Right.
and then go into such detail because any woman would be put off by that.
Out there, like, oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, you subtly pissed on a tree.
Yes. Yes. Cause it would make you not interested. Like, okay, I don't know what y'all got going on, so I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, but a lot of that had to do with her own insecurity and realization that she was nothing more than a jump off.
Listen, when she took that picture of Alex and sent it to, I think, Jordan or a couple of them, it was like, are we dealing with, because we already know she seems kind of, maybe she gets easily upset, and maybe now you're sending pictures of you, like, you know. And I didn't agree. They were calling Alex an F boy. And I said, it seems Alex was very clear. To me, if a man is clear with you about his intentions, I don't want a relationship. This is what I'm offering you. Because he
Listen,
doesn't want to settle down, doesn't make him an F boy. If he's, to me, if a man tells you straight up what he wants and you decide as a woman to go along with it,
that's on you, boo boo.
that's on you. Yeah.
That's on you. And I just think oftentimes we villainize men for not wanting us.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, men do it to women too.
Yep.
They villainize women for not wanting them. I often like to share with people that I took a criminology class in college. While I am not a criminology major, I still took it because I like psychology, human psychology.
Okay.
Um, one of the things we learned in my criminology class is that women are often attacked by men they reject. And I mean like raped, assaulted, abused. Usually law enforcement can trace it back to someone they rejected romantically,
Yep.
which tells me that most people, if they're not understanding or trained or raised to handle rejection, have a visceral or negative reaction to being rejected.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Summer just did it from a woman's standpoint.
Right. She didn't.
He rejected her.
Yeah.
So now I got to make him an F boy. I have to talk about, oh, he wants everyone and he's not serious. God forbid he reject me and actually go over to Noelle and actually treat her the way that I wanted to be treated by him.
Right. And then when she went on Watch What Happens Live and said, Andy asked her to rate Alex's sex and she said a 5. But then, well, go ahead. No, she should have.
No, go ahead.
But then Alex came on a couple weeks later and was like very classy about it, but basically was like, wow, she called me. Like literally, she had kind of like just called him. So it was like, you're still interested, but yet it's a 5. Okay.
Well, and I think that's probably that's the thing. I keep saying it, that cross between reality TV and reality.
That, yeah.
You
Yeah.
must have forgot that texts are capturable. I literally kept a whole reality TV file on my phone.
Wow. Okay.
Screenshots, photos, messages, DMs, because people lie.
You said this. Yes, you were on an interview. I think with the Old Ladies First panel, and you said like people lie, and what you weren't about to do was have people lie on you. So no, right here.
I honestly believe that's why you haven't heard a rebuttal to a lot of what I said.
Because they know you have.
They know
okay.
I keep stuff. I mean, Monique said this season 1. I had a fan in the reunion that said receipt queen. And actually, one of my props that I was going to roll out, we just couldn't fly it there. I was going to roll out a file cabinet.
Winter,
And I had a file on everybody.
Winter. Oh my gosh.
But and I couldn't, they wouldn't approve me rolling out a file cabinet. And I'm like, no, like seriously, if we're gonna do this, let's tell the truth on today. And if we're gonna
That
do,
would have taken the cake. And then you pulled out the files and actually started reading. Oh, okay.
I literally, Corey, my hairdresser is often with the foolishness more so than I am. He's the one that made the fans for me. He made me the shirt that said, "And you say I'm just a friend." Like he does all this crazy stuff. So he,
Okay.
what are you thinking as far as props? And I was like, I really think I should roll out a file cabinet. He was like, oh, we can decorate a file that's specifically related to a lot of the nicknames you have called all of them. So
Oh,
let's decorate their files according. I mean, we had a whole plan,
that
but I had to. So I literally kept like a file in my notes.
that
I'm
was
not even kidding.
what was it labeled? Love and
Hold on.
marriage,
So for instance,
LAMDC.
no, so this particular file, I'm like, I don't know if I can show it, but oh shoot, hold on. So this is one of my, can you see the
No,
label?
oh my God, I can't see. What does it say? I
Oh
mean, I
no.
can see it, but I can't read it. What does it
So
say?
this file says Kevin's lies. So literally, this is my file. I keep all of my screenshots and like I dared him. Go right ahead. I save everything. So let me know which lie would you like to talk about today that
And
I
it,
can
and I'm
tell.
coming right here.
You have to, because you have some people that play into reality TV footage manipulation.
Okay,
And a
okay,
lot of people will lean into the edit. This happened on my cast.
okay.
Now, some people that were speaking to what really happened, and some people who leaned into the edit.
So then so it's nothing is making sense then.
Right.
The audience is trying to figure out, okay.
Telling the truth.
Oh, okay.
The only way we can fix that is with receipts. That's the only way we can fix it. So I kept a file on everybody. I had to.
To
It's
protect
once
yourself.
you learn how, once I saw how they set me up season one, I'm never going to do it again. Now I'm a natural investigator anyway.
So
Like, yeah, I'm a natural investigator. So I kept a file. I just did. So yeah, go ahead and say I'm lying about something. I'm not going to say anything I can't back up. This is why I
right.
was like, yeah, we make up to, all I would ask people to show their pay stubs.
And they're not going to do that because
Right.
an illusion allow. Okay. And that is
Nobody's
very,
doesn't
okay.
say I'm lying. No, but I will say that's probably what people on the flip side disliked about me on my cast. Like this girl.
But I'm not playing with y'all. What you won't do, right? Like I'm
Play with
no.
somebody else. I can own, like people may say, well, Winter, that's messy. No, when you are talking about people who are willing to lie to align with the false narrative about you or align with editing when you know it's not true and
That
there's important context, then I'm gonna do what I need to do to protect myself. And the only way to do that is make sure I keep detailed record just in case it comes up again.
That is very true. Like you said, they're willing to go along with something that they know is a lie. They're not being manipulated. They know it's the lie. It's the audience being manipulated, and you know
Absolutely.
that it's a lie.
Yep. So files, baby, for days. And I ain't never getting rid of them either because I don't trust folks.
Because
I'm gonna just keep it. I mean, I got no reason to delete it just in case you want to circle back around.
2 years from now and try to bring me up. No, ma'am. I got it right here.
Best to leave me alone. Like it's sad, but I feel like everyone in reality TV, I should really do like a ready for reality TV boot camp.
Consult. I was because I was getting ready to say, Summerhouse, are y'all listening? When it's
Like
putting y'all on, like
I'm trying to help you. Like I need to be a reality TV star consultant. If you have gotten booked for a reality TV show or you're thinking about reality TV, you need to hire me because I can get you ready and also give you some some behind the scenes game when dealing with these producers
And contracts, because you
and
very
contracts. OMG. I do a course. I don't know.
that is actually smart.
Maybe I should do a reality
Ready
TV.
for reality.
Yes.
I like
Maybe
that. Ready
I
for
should
you.
do a boot camp, a
Winter.
course or a boot camp. We
I like.
might have stumbled up on something.
I really like ready for reality. TM. She's already trademarked it while we were sitting here, so don't try to take that.
Right, right. We are staking our poor man's copyright on
Yes.
this.
I
Yes,
could
ready for reality.
I could literally what's it's Wednesday, 5/22,
Right,
6:16 p.m.
2024. Yes.
2024 Eastern Standard Time. But you know how what was that show where they say winter's coming? It's like ready for reality. Da, 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 winter's coming. Like,
Yes.
are y'all ready?
But there's so much you could cover. Like how to properly negotiate.
Yep.
How to do proper intel on your castmates. How to issue a proper read because some of y'all need assistance.
Listen. Now, the read session, I would like you and Candace to teach that together because I think that would be iconic. Like maybe you could bring one of your reality friends in. Well, you could teach the class, but you could, bring like a special guest.
We could have a quick 5 to 10 minute reading. Because I do feel like reading is an art.
It is. And I was not going to bring it up because it's been years past. But your fun-sized DJ was just was top tier.
Oh my God.
I remember watching that. And then my mom was up here for the weekend and I had my husband watching it. And I was like, can you believe it was funny though? I was like, can you believe she said that?
I did not realize.
But I loved it because I'm of the belief, I have taught my kids this since they were small. You can't throw a pebble at someone and then get mad if they throw a boulder. Sure, could they have done something along the lines of a pebble? Yes, but you don't get to determine somebody's response to you coming for them. So you take a chance when you come for somebody.
Girl, if people only knew, that scene actually got, like, before we started the scene, I remember a producer coming up to me and they said, listen, this is mid-season. We're trying to get renewed.
Okay.
And so whatever you need to get off your chest, this would be the time to air it. You need to catch Monique up on what's been going on in the group. Tell her how you felt about that vegan dinner, like air it all out. I said, okay, cool. I understand the assignment. Now, I really didn't understand the assignment, but I'm like, okay, air your grievances. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Right.
Like, I am catching up, my friend. We need a little, we need to get into all the things that have happened. So really, I'm just repeating and telling. Okay.
Okay.
When we get into the vegan dinner, I really am annoyed by these people making fun of me about what I'm going through.
Right.
But me, I'm not just going to sit there and complain and whine. I'm going to come for them too. Like, the audacity to be the same height as me and cover me. I don't understand.
Y'all, she talking about somebody's husband, which makes it even funnier.
Child, when I tell you, I did not like when I wrapped up, one of the producers came back up to me after that scene. When I tell you Monique was dying laughing, she said, girl, I said, what did I do? Like,
You said the audacity.
And one of the producers was like, girl, you just became the star of the show. I was like, what? She was like, I'm telling you. When I tell you our EP on the set that day, he was crying. He said, Winter, I had no idea you were this funny. He said, literally, I guess so when they're filming us, sometimes the execs at the network and whoever else that's in management for KRE can see the scenes being filmed real time.
Oh.
So he was talking to them while they were filming that scene. He said, listen here. He said, you have made everybody very happy. We had no idea you were this funny. And I'm like, okay, like I really just did not understand
You were just being
what
you.
had just I was just being me. And I'm like, okay. And she was like, girl, seriously, you just became the star of the show with that. Like I don't understand the magnitude until the trailer comes out. And I'm like, oh my God. That's literally one of the first clips they air.
And you
When
literally just
I
said
tell
it in a moment.
I
Like,
just said in a moment, when I say that went viral, because people were like, this girl is off her rocker. I was like, I did not know that y'all would take it for that. Like, I literally was just frustrated by how they treated me at that dinner.
and you had had enough. Monique
I
was
had,
cracking up in scene. That was the funny, like almost like am I watching this?
because Monique had never experienced me like that. Monique is used to me being a motivational speaker. Her and I
Okay.
were social friends. We
Okay.
didn't hang out all the time, so she doesn't know me intimately.
Like that.
Any
Yeah.
of my
Okay.
real friends with my sister was like, girl, she said, winter, why were you on there wintering like that?
She said, oh, okay, winter. Okay. Okay.
She said, oh God. She said, as soon as they came for you in that scene, she said, oh, winter is going to let them have it one of these days. I said, I don't even know. She said, but I had no idea you don't want to call this man. She said, girl, she said, we laugh. People that know me know how I am. I would
Yeah.
do that. I can think of nicknames and witty things for days.
Off the
Like
top of your head. Yep.
off the top of my
Yep.
head, that's just who I am. But I had no idea. I apologize. I did not, because he still gets that. And I still see people comment about it even this season. I'm like, oh, I feel so
Here
bad.
we go. Right. But you know what? You still get the wrath of some things that it just comes with the territory. Um,
Yeah.
but it's
And
just a little bit of
I,
residual. But I get, because
yeah,
you're friends now, it can
yeah,
be a
we're
little,
cool now. I'm like, I feel so bad. I'm so
right.
sorry because it's things that people won't remember, right? But that's one of the things that
That they
unfortunately,
remember, because I wasn't going to say anything, but then I was like, well, since we're here.
yeah. But yeah, I think I could definitely be a reality TV boot camp teacher. Like, let's just get you ready to go and make your mark. And you can do that.
Yeah, and then you could advertise, okay, so summer, we're going to have you in a little bit more you're going to make a great reality TV, but these are the things that we need to do. Bria, it's interesting to me that Bria talked about with Simon when he was leaving. In her confessional, she said, my main concern with him is our communication. And I'm thinking, because you're not communicating from what we see, you're yelling or dictating to
Correct.
him. That's what it seems
Absolutely.
like.
And he's German. You were going to have communication issues from German.
Regardless. Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
couldn't
Yep.
stand her all the time. And someone told me that she was very smart, and I'm not knocking her intelligence. People can be very book smart and lack common sense.
Yes.
But sometimes I worry about her common sense because I'm like, ma'am, you got to think and listen to what you're saying, but you literally don't want him to say anything. You want him to do what you say,
You listen to
not
what I say.
be an active participant in your relationship.
And well,
I hope they give us a break from them next season.
me too. Did you hear? She kept, when she lost Milo, I got an attitude because I said, you shouldn't have brought him anyway.
No,
Again. But to have the cast and crew looking for him this whole season, from what we saw, either Milo was tearing up her room, and I said he gets that aggression from her, tearing
yep.
up her room, or somebody else cleaning up his poop, trying to get into Preston's or somebody's plate, jumped on the couch trying to eat their plate. And that kind of stuff makes me like,
Mm-mm.
get your animal. And
No
so
dog for
when she
them.
lost him, I was like, poor Milo, like you deserve, you deserve an owner that, and I get it, things happen, but judging by what we watched over the season, it was like Milo was always somewhere.
Running loose.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
locked in her room and like tearing it up.
Yeah, poor Milo. I would rather keep Milo and get rid of Bria and Simon, though, in my honest opinion. Yes, we can just add Milo to the
To
cast.
the cast, right?
Give him
He
a
was
caregiver.
cute.
He
He was
was
cute.
extremely cute.
Yep,
But
sitting
yeah,
in that truth booth.
I will say, I guess in wrapping up my thoughts on this whole Summer House finale, I do feel like they deserve a third season,
Me too.
but they need to shake this cast up.
Okay, so did you see the flyer going around? There was a flyer, a casting for Martha's Vineyard, a Martha's Vineyard show, African American males aged 25, I think, to 30 something. Yeah. I seen it a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
I'm gonna see if I can find it. Yep, because I sent it to somebody.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a good move.
That's a good sign then, right? Like that they're let me
Yeah,
find it.
they definitely need to shake this cast up. I'm over it.
I must have did I get rid of it? I had it. I must have sent it and not saved it. But yeah, there was I sent it to someone and oh, here it is. Wait. Oh no, wait, no, that's something different. Oh, I don't have it. But yeah, they were casting for African American males. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute.
Hmm.
I might have. Oh, here it is. Casting. Oh, let me see if they still have it up. Casting for a certain TV show that films in Martha's Vineyard is now open. They're looking for single, successful African American men aged 27 to 38. And then it says, "What are you doing this summer?" Martha's Vineyard, a picture of Black folks on it. Nationwide casting single, successful African American men aged 27 to 38 for a hit returning TV show on a major upscale cable network. Not a dating show, but there will be plenty of chances for romance and adventure. If you love luxury, good times, and want to have a summer vacay, you will never forget. You will never forget. We'd love to hear from you.
Good.
So I think they're trying to add more single men to the house.
They need to. It's too many. It's too women heavy.
And Alex was the only single one.
Yeah, it's too women heavy. Oh, we need to shake it up. It needs to be shaken up. I really wish Phil wasn't a jerk because I would have liked to see him on there. I think he would have given the right pizzazz. But he was gross. Honestly, I was very grossed out by his behavior.
The toilet not flushing to me is what took me over the edge.
I was done. I said, "Oh no, no," because he unfortunately is the type of he's unfortunately the type of personality that will create fights. He's too volatile. Like he literally would incite fights, and I don't want to see that. So yeah, they definitely need fresh blood. So I'm happy to hear that. So I'm hopeful that we'll get a cast shakeup. Amir, Bia, and Amir's girlfriend can go, and we can replace them all, and we can just see what the summer will bring.
And I'm glad that Amir has made it known publicly. I won't be back unless.
Praise God.
Praise God. And I will say, like you spoke on it earlier, as far as representation, it's not about being racist. It's about, I want to keep, this is one of our few Black shows. I want to keep it Black, main cast.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. Simon can come, whomever, but like, because last year I was kind of like, why is Simon playing such a heavy role? But I get it. That is Bria's significant other. But I do want to keep Summerhouse Martha's Vineyard the way it is.
Yeah, I am again disappointed that Amir doesn't understand that. But when we understand Amir's environment and upbringing, we understand why Amir is Amiring.
Amir is Amiring. Last thing to wrap it up, like you said, what did you think about? I specifically wanted to ask you this. They do the impression game. That was great. And then Nick then opens the floor for them to self-reflect. Amir apologizes. I thought it was funny that I apologize for meeting you at the same level, which is the interesting choice of words. Not I apologize for yelling, which I get why he did. I apologize for meeting you at the same level. Bria says she apologizes but doesn't like to argue. They show a flashback of her arguing. This is the one. Jordan says she's not sorry because she spends a lot of time running back what she has done wrong, but she's not doing that anymore. And now it's, how do I learn what I've done wrong to do right? So I said, so she spent a lot of time in her head running back what she has done wrong. She's not going to do that anymore. She's going to figure out how to learn what she's done wrong to do right. So maybe, because at first I was like, well, if you're not going to think about what you've done wrong, how are you going to know what to do right? So then I just thought, well, maybe she means I'm not going to replay it over and over in my head, but this season was tough with me with Jordan.
Jordan can go. I forgot to add her in that she can go. Jordan can go. I forgot. Jordan can go. And I'm going to be honest about Jordan. She was involved season 1. I forgot Jordan was a part of the cast. So when I tell you, it's funny you mention her, but Jordan can go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that Jordan really wants to be on the show. I feel like she wants to be on TV.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good. I could see that. I could see because she's dealing with a lot of stuff that she doesn't necessarily want
To talk about.
out there. And she doesn't, to me, it comes across like she doesn't see it as a safe environment.
Go home.
Yeah.
Go home.
It'll be interesting to see if she comes back.
Yeah, I can deal without Jordan. I can
Yeah.
definitely deal without Jordan. Yeah, go
It
home.
it was a lot. That what really took me over the not like but when Alex was like, Jordan, I haven't heard a lot from you this summer when they were at dinner, and her answers with him was just kind of like, I was like, whoa, okay.
Something's up with her. I wouldn't say I understand her either.
Yeah.
She's been giving us a lot of substance to understand.
She's very guarded, it seems like.
Yeah, go home.
You said, yeah,
Nobody,
go home. Yeah.
nobody has time to do that. I don't have
Yeah.
time to do a root canal on your emotions and what you want to give.
Because we need the show to keep going. Yeah.
Go on home. Come
Mhm.
back when you're ready. You're not
I
ready.
I was shocked that she reacted as good as she did with finding out that Summer said the friendship between her, Preston, and her what was heavy. Like when Natalie went back and told that, I was like, okay. That was like a slightly different side. And when she was comforting her, I was like, that's a side of Jordan I would like to see more of. But I guess maybe she reserves that just for people who truly are her friends. I don't know. It'll be interesting. One thing Jasmine said last year, I mean, at her, right before her dinner, was how we end this summer will affect how we start next summer. And I said, oh, reality TV speak forward, because I don't see most of y'all. So I'm not going to see y'all a lot in the city to even, because that wouldn't matter if we're truly friends. How we end this summer, I'm going to see you in a couple weeks or so.
Yeah.
And then Jasmine has her baby. 6 months later, Silas Jr. was born, and Silas Sr. arrived 16 hours after. I thought that was sweet. Like, because
Yeah.
can you imagine like having your children? I mean, he's somewhere like so dangerous, like, and
Yeah.
you not knowing if he's going to make it home.
A lot of my uncles are military, so I definitely understand. And my daughter's boyfriend is actually applying to be in the Air Force now. So
My
it's
daughter was in the Air Force.
really,
Yep.
yeah, he's applying to be in the Air Force. So,
Oh,
pretty soon she'll understand that life. But yeah, it's definitely tough. Military families deal with a lot, especially when someone is deployed. So it was a sweet I feel like kind of feature, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with this cast. I don't know. I do want to keep up, but I almost hate that we got to wait a whole nother summer, right?
right. I want
To
them to,
film this summer, and then we'll get it next year.
I wish they could film during the summer active months, but I also get me with the permitting and all that kind of stuff. It
Yeah.
may be a little difficult, but at least we do get a reunion. We don't know how many parts, but we get a reunion at
The
least.
trailer is out.
I didn't see the trailer. How
Trailer's
was
out.
it? Was it good?
I haven't watched it in its entirety, but I'm going to go back and watch it after this. But yeah, it's out. So
Oh, I'm gonna have to get your thoughts on that.
yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh.
I would love to, well, I will definitely come back anytime, but I love Summerhouse. I think it's good TV. I like how we're depicted on this show. Um, barring a few ratchetness, it's tolerable. I don't feel like there's anything that's intolerable. I feel like we're getting real personalities.
Yes.
And that's nice to see. Like I
Yes.
really, even though and this is why we have so much to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Because we get so many different personalities, and you feel like people are being authentically them. Love or hate Bria, I believe that's who she is.
Yes, 1000%.
Love or hate Shanice, I believe that's who she is.
Agreed.
Love or hate Jordan, I believe that's who she is.
Yep.
Even down to Mariah, even though she got kicked out of the house, I believe she is absolutely who she is.
Me too.
So I think for the Preston, he's who he is.
Yeah.
I love that I can look at these people and say, oh, that's who they are.
Yeah.
And they all bring something unique to the cast that I think I just enjoy watching. So I'll definitely be watching if they get a third season, but I definitely want to see some new players and new faces.
I agree with everything you said. And I agree. I'll add to that. I like seeing Black folks just being able to be. They don't have to be hanging from the rooftop. They don't have to be, they can just
Yeah.
be sitting around having a conversation. And I love the fact that our history is included when they talked about the Divine Nine and when they were strolling, when they talked about Martha's Vineyard. I know some people don't want a history lesson. I personally don't mind it because it's a part of who we are. And I believe that this cast probably actually has real conversations like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's put on just for the TV. So I really appreciate the show too. Oh my, I hope that y'all enjoyed me and Winter's recap of I was getting ready to say Love and of Summerhouse, Martha's Vineyard.
Yes. Summerhouse.
Summerhouse.
Make sure you watch it. It's
yes,
so good.
It is good. Y'all, we don't want another Black show to be canceled. Y'all need to watch. If we get this season, well, it seems like we're getting a season 3. Y'all, please make sure you watch. And like Winter said, you can't, if you haven't watched, you can't just jump in the middle. You got to go back and know the backstory. It's a quick catch up. You see, Winter binged it in less than 24 hours.
One day. It's doable.
It's doable. Y'all, I'm not even going to ask Winter. Tell everyone where they can find you because it'll be in the description. But actually, no, I will say I am Simply Winter, right?
Yep. I'm Simply Winter, and then simplywinter.com, and then Winter Womanland on YouTube.
I love that name, Winter Womanland. I absolutely love that name. Yeah. I think I'm subscribed. If not, I'm going to head over and subscribe. Y'all know where to find me. Y'all, as always, if you liked our commentary or if you had other thoughts, as long as you're respectful, we can chat all about it. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. You know, I don't take your viewership and your listenership for granted. Please let Winter know how much you were feeling her during the recap as much as I was, and she will definitely be back. So we will talk to y'all later. Y'all.